Upgrading a frame is the most expensive and probably the most important upgrade you're going to make on your bike. It's a big purchase and you need to be sure that it's the right one before you buy it. But a lot of people want a cut and dry answer as to which frame upgrade is right for them, and it doesn't work that way. There are tons of different things that go into frame upgrades and just upgrades in general that you need to understand what you want out of that frame before you actually upgrade it. And I was asked about a frame upgrade in my live stream, and this is how I answered it. Yiko says, what full chromoly frame do you suggest for a skate park rider? You gotta see what's gonna work best for you, Yiko. When you look at aftermarket frames, they're mostly the same. The only thing that changes is some quality here and there, but mostly colors and geometries. And so you've got to figure out kind of the geometry you want. And this is why I push people to get a basic geometry bike, or I explain how the different geometries work when they're buying a complete bike. Because once you get on the bike, you're gonna ride it, you're gonna see how it feels, and all that stuff's gonna go out the window. You're gonna say, oh, I really hate tall handlebars. I'm gonna get smaller handlebars. But how are you gonna know you hate tall handlebars if you've never rode tall handlebars? Does that make sense? And same thing with the geometry. So whatever your bike is right now, Yiko, look at it and think about what you want to get out of it. Do you want something that's more responsive in the back end? Do you want something that's going to corner bowls faster? Like, what do you want from it in terms of park riding? Do you want to do lots of tail whips? And then from there, you can make those tweaks and find a frame that fits into that. So if you want really fast cornering and a responsive front end, you're going to want to find a frame with like 75.5 degree head tube angle and a small chainstay if you want to do tail whips, just things like that. You've got to really look at it. The reason I don't touch on aftermarket stuff very much, like aftermarket frames, bars, forks, all of that, is because two things really. One, I feel like you need to have it in your hand. You need to actually test it. Me testing out the R25s is going to be the same as your experience with the R25s, but my experience with say a really small fit complete bike is going to be different than somebody else's experience with that bike. And so I really feel like I should test out the parts before I review them, unlike bikes where I just go off spec and value and that kind of thing. The other thing is that I don't know what the other thing was. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I said two things, I had them both in my mind, and I'm like, I'm going to forget the second thing. But I'll think about it. Anyway, don't worry too much about it. Like, find a geometry that's good for you and that fits for you, and then you're going to be good. Okay. That's the other reason. Number two is that I don't feel your upgrades and the changes you make to your bike, they're a lot more like intimate, I guess. They're fine-tuned per person. So it's really hard to make a video on the best handlebar upgrades because some people are going to like to have upsweep and some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to like to have responsive forks. Some people are going to hate it. And so it's really a subjective thing. And it's the same thing with aftermarket frames. The most important thing is to have a bike and have a baseline. And when you're looking at upgrading it and upgrading parts, you look at what you currently have, what you want to achieve, and then you find parts that are going to help bridge that gap. And so that's the best explanation I can give you on that. But look for a bike that accomplish, or a frame that helps you accomplish what you want to accomplish. Anyway, hope that helps. It's like a long answer that doesn't actually answer your question, but it's impossible for me to answer it. All the frames, similar quality, they look different, they have different geometries, and so that's what you need to worry about. Hopefully you got some value from that answer. Now, I do these live streams where I answer any question that you guys have for me every Friday at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Come over, hang out with all of the other BMX nerds on the Dougster Bob YouTube channel. If you got value from this, don't forget to subscribe so that YouTube will show you other helpful videos just like this one.